Hi guys, welcome back. Another class. We're going to be doing page 115. Like we didn't do in the last class, we won't be doing revision, but we will be doing a revision when we get back here at the school together. Okay? So let's have a look at the new content on page 115. Let's repeat. A head teacher, a principal, to deal with, brilliant, reluctance, elsewhere, reluctant, an issue, loyalty, to praise, a pupil, to trust, skin, sunburn, an oath, to sunbathe, sunscreen, to drop out, a dissertation, a scholarship, a constitution, a sunshade, to swear, swore, sworn. And we have two idioms that we're going to look at after, okay? So let's have a look. First of all, a head teacher and a principal are the same as a director of a school. So you have this in Brazil, you say a director, we say a principal or a head teacher. The difference is that a principal is more common in American culture and a head teacher is more common in schools in a British culture, okay? But they have the same role, okay? So I'm the head teacher or I'm the principal of London Connection. To deal with. To deal with is the idea of to develop a way to manage something, okay? So, luckily we have a very good example. We have COVID-19, the coronavirus, okay? So it's a big problem and the government is trying to decide how to manage the problem, how to deal with the problem. So they've decided to close schools, reduce tourism, etc. to deal with, to manage the problem, okay? Brilliant. Brilliant is similar in Portuguese, okay? We use this when we talk about something that's amazing or fantastic, okay? So some people are having some brilliant ideas about ways that people can help society at the moment in this crisis, okay? Brilliant. We do not use brilliant when we talk about something shiny. We don't say it's a brilliant star. We say it's a very shiny star, okay? So we only use it when we talk about something being fantastic. Reluctance. Reluctance is talking about unwilling or not wanting to do something, okay? So for example, my son is 7 years old. He doesn't like to do his homeworks. Probably like you didn't when you were 7, yeah? So sometimes I say to him, Thomas, you need to do your homework. But he has a degree of reluctance. He's not really willing, he's not really wanting to do it, okay? So the noun is reluctance and the verb is reluctant, okay? The adjective, sorry, is reluctant. So I could say Thomas is a reluctant student when he's doing his homework, okay? Some students are reluctant when they are trying to speak English. They prefer to write, they prefer to read, they don't want to try. They are unwilling to try speaking in English because it's the most difficult part, okay? So this idea of reluctant is that you're not really wanting to do something, you're not willing to do something. So if I said to you, go to the hospital and help out with the coronavirus victims, you might be reluctant to do that, okay? Elsewhere means another place, okay? So you are studying your English at the moment elsewhere, not here in the school. You are elsewhere. You are studying in another place, probably your home or your workplace. Okay? We already saw reluctant. Now an issue. An issue is an idea of a subject or a problem that we need to manage, okay? So the biggest issue at the moment is the coronavirus, okay? There are other issues in Brazil, but we have the big issue being coronavirus, okay? Which is the problem or the subject that we are all talking about at the moment, okay? So next column is loyalty. Loyalty comes from the adjective loyal, okay? So we have the idea of loyal being the adjective, how we would describe the person, and loyalty being the noun, okay? So, for example, loyalty is the idea of feeling support and duty towards somebody. So I feel very loyal towards my school. I feel a duty to support my school, to make it keep going even though there's a crisis, okay? Generally, people who are married feel a degree of loyalty between themselves, okay? So I feel loyal to my husband. I have a duty to help him, to support him. That's what I decided to do when I married him, okay? So you can say that dogs are a type of animal that are very loyal, okay? So if you have a dog, you probably know what I mean. Dogs generally try to help you in any situation. They are very loyal. They have a lot of loyalty towards the people that own them, okay? So this is loyalty and loyal. To praise. To praise is the idea of to give some kind of good feedback to somebody, okay? So we can use it in two contexts. I could say, for example, oh, that's really good work, well done, I'm really pleased with what you've done for your homework. Here I would be praising the student, okay? Another way we can use it is the idea of a religion. So some people praise God, okay? Thank you, God, for everything that you have given me in my life, etc. This is the idea of praising, okay? Sometimes parents praise their children, yes? Sometimes they don't. A pupil is a student, okay? So I could say that I have lots of students or I have lots of pupils. Again, pupils is generally in schools, primary and secondary schools, up until like high school. So then we would generally use this in European schools, not Americans, okay? To trust is the idea to believe someone that they are doing something good and they're trying to take care of you, okay? So this idea of believing that that person will not do something to hurt you, okay? So for example, I trust that my students are studying at home even though I'm not there to see them do it, okay? I trust that you guys are studying, looking in your books, doing your homework. I believe that you guys are good guys who are doing the best things to help your English so the course can continue, okay? So that's the idea of trusting. Again, I could use the example of relationships. People trust that their partner will not go off with somebody else or kiss somebody else, etc. This idea of trusting somebody, okay? Skin. Skin is this which covers all our body, okay? So this is our skin. Sometimes when I go in the sun, my skin goes red, yes? This is actually almost all the time when I go in the sun, okay? So when I go in the sun, my skin goes red. When it goes red, I don't say my skin is red, I say my skin is sunburnt, okay? So here we have the noun sunburn, okay? And we can have the verb to be sunburnt, okay? So there is a lot of sunburned people on the beach today, okay? So lots of people are red on the beach today. An oath is a promise. We use this generally when we talk about presidents and priests, etc. So it's a very formal way of saying a promise. To sunbathe is when somebody goes and lies in the sun to try to make themselves look browner, okay? So I never do this because otherwise I'd be red, but some people go in the sun and they lie there and they wait for the sun to make them brown, okay, make them tanned. So this sunbathing comes to the idea of bathe. Bathing is the idea of going into a bath, yes, in the bathroom, where you lie in the water in the bath. So sunbathing is the same idea of having a bath in the sunshine, okay? So this is to sunbathe. Sunscreen is the cream that we put to protect our skin from the sun, okay? So mine's like factor 70, and you guys are probably like factor 20, yeah? To drop out is the same as to give up a course or school, okay? So most people have to finish school, like have to try to finish school when they're 15 or 16 years old. If they don't complete this part of their education, you would say they drop out of school. So you've probably heard in the films that he dropped out of high school or he dropped out of university. Some people give up their university course. They don't complete it, so they drop out. Here we have students that drop out of the course because they don't study enough, etc. A dissertation is the same as a TCC. This idea is a big essay, a big project that students do at university in their last year. It's what probably some of you have done. It's like a very big document that you have to write or study or do research, and it's your final project for when you finish your university degree, okay? This is a dissertation. So my dissertation was about a prime minister in the UK, and it was about 20,000 words. I think it's similar in Brazil. A scholarship. So a scholarship is basically money that is given to somebody to help them study in some way. This is normally given to somebody by the government, by a charity organization, or by a university or school, okay? So I went to a private school when I was younger, but because I had 8 brothers and sisters, my parents didn't have the money to pay for me to go to school. So the school, I did an exam and I was given money, given this scholarship to study at the school, okay? So this is very common in the UK and America, especially because there is nothing like a federal university. We don't have federal universities in the UK and in America. We have basically the idea of if a student comes from a poor background and doesn't have enough money, they are evaluated the situation, the financial and their academic situation, and it's decided if they should be given a scholarship. Lots of people in America get scholarships for playing sport. You probably heard about people getting scholarships for baseball and basketball, etc. Constitution. The Constitution, I think, is very similar in Portuguese. In Brazil, you have a very big document that tells the Brazilian government what they can and cannot do. Yes? This is called a constitution. Normally, the president makes an oath with his hand over the Constitution. Or I don't know if it's the Bible in Brazil, but in America it's the Constitution. A sunshade is an umbrella that is used in the sun. Okay, so we don't say an umbrella when we're talking about the sun. We only use umbrella for the rain. We say sunshade, okay? Because shade in English is when we are not in direct contact with the sun. Okay, so a sunshade, an umbrella that we use to stay out of the sun. And to swear. To swear has 2 meanings. So when a president makes an oath, he swears, he promises that he will not, or he will do, he will look after the country, etc. So he puts his hand on the book, on the Constitution of the Bible, and he swears an oath, okay? He promises to make a promise, okay? It's strange, huh? So, for example, when Americans sing the national anthem, their national song, They swear that they will keep the freedom of America alive, okay? So this idea of promising is to swear, okay? So I could say to my son, clean your room. I will, Mom, I will, in 5 minutes. I say, do you swear you will do it? Means, do you promise you will do it? Okay? It's a bit more formal than you would use in day-to-day life, but that's just an example. The second meaning of swear is when you say bad language, okay? So I don't teach bad language at my school, so I'm not going to give you any examples, yeah? But you know those words that your mother told you not to say because they're rude? We would say that you are swearing. So if I maybe hit my head accidentally, I would say maybe a bad word, yes? I would swear. Okay, and my mother would say, Rachel, don't swear, it's rude, okay, it's impolite to swear, okay? So that's the verb to swear. It's irregular, the past is swore, and the past participle sworn, okay? So now we have two idioms. To pull yourself together. To pull yourself together means to recover control of your emotions. So, imagine you had a big shock and you felt very upset and maybe you cry, etc. Somebody might say to you, pull yourself together. You know, this idea of putting yourself back together to continue, okay? Sometimes it's difficult, yes? When we pass some kind of difficulty, we might want to continue crying, feel sorry, oh my God, my life is very difficult. But most of the time we have to pull ourselves together, put ourselves back together, our emotions back together to continue, okay? To recover control of your emotions. And a storm in a teacup. A storm in a teacup is a small event that has been exaggerated about, okay? Remember, exaggerate? Exaggerate is when we try to make something bigger than it is. Okay, so for example, this is very common in campus. Yeah? People get small events and then, oh my God, this happened. Yeah. So for example, maybe the traffic police decide to close the road because they're going to paint some parts of the road. We might say, oh my God, I can't believe it. They closed the road. What am I going to do? This would be a small event that I am exaggerating about, okay? It's a storm in a teacup, okay? We could say that the coronavirus is not a storm in a teacup. It's something that is not being exaggerated about. It is something that is very serious, okay? So, a storm in a teacup. A teacup is what we drink tea from, or coffee, if you're Brazilian, okay? So, let's repeat. If you have any doubts about what I've just explained, write a message here for me, send a comment or whatever, and I will try to re-explain any words that you didn't understand, okay? So, let's repeat. Like last time, I will pause for you to repeat what I've just said. The head teacher called the student's attention about his behavior and reminded him of his scholarship. Dogs are by far one of the most loyal animals in the world, and they trust their owners completely. Annabella needed to deal with her daughter and her reluctance to study for her dissertation. The principal praised the pupil for the brilliant result and for his loyalty towards his school's team. Sunscreen only works properly if you put it on your body 30 minutes before you sunbathe. Fred couldn't trust his wife anymore, so he decided to look elsewhere for someone to make him happy. Many parents feel reluctant to talk openly to their children about difficult issues such as sex and drugs. Okay, so now we're going to do let's practice. Pedro is here again to help me respond to the questions. But if you prefer to respond yourself, remember that you can pause the video and respond and then hear Pedro's response, okay? So let's go. If Anna saw her brother crying because he had broken his favorite pencil, what would she say?
If Anna saw her brother crying because he had broken his favorite pencil, she would say, "Pull yourself together" to him.
Good. When a new president is elected in the USA, what does he swear to do with an oath?
When a new president is elected in the USA, he swears he will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Good. What verb can we use when a student decides to leave school before he completes his studies?
The verb we can use when a student decides to leave school before he completes his studies is to drop out.
His studies.
Studies.
Okay. Who writes a dissertation?
University students write a dissertation about the end of their course.
At the end.
At the end of their course.
Good. Is it easy to deal with a class full of toddlers?
No, it isn't easy to deal with a class full of toddlers.
How do you think a head teacher might deal with two students who cheated in their exam?
I think a head teacher might deal with two students who cheated in their exam by and how can I say, like advertência.
Okay, giving them a warning.
Okay,
Yes, like a warning, telling you if you do again, you will have to leave the school.
Yes.
Okay, so give them a warning. Okay, should we praise our children when they achieve a brilliant results?
Yes, we should praise our children when they achieve brilliant results.
Was their argument very important?
No, their argument wasn't very important. It was really just a storm in a teacup.
What did Mrs. Webb try to tell her reluctant husband to do?
Mrs. Webb tried to tell her reluctant husband to help wash the dishes before they went to bed.
Do you think the scholarship program for Cambridge University in England is very difficult to get a place on?
Yes, I think the scholarship program for Cambridge University in England is very difficult to get a place on.
Have you ever dropped out of a course?
Yes, I have dropped out of a course.
Really?
Yes.
Not here though, yeah?
No.
What course did you drop out
of? Dance course.
A dance course. Okay. Are there many swear words that are considered vulgar in English?
Yes, there are many swear words that are considered vulgar in English.
Do you like to sunbathe when you go on holiday?
Yes, I like to sunbathe when I go on a holiday.
Why is it important to put sunscreen on our bodies when we are in the sun?
It is important to put sunscreen on our bodies when they are in the sun because we can burn out our skin.
What color is our skin when we suffer from sunburn?
Our skin becomes pink or red when we suffer from sunburn.
Shall we go to the cinema in São Paulo or elsewhere?
I think we should go to the cinema elsewhere. I don't like to drive in São Paulo.
When all of Mary's friends decided to go to the beach, what did Paul decide to do?
When all of Mary's friends decided to go to the beach, Paul decided to show his loyalty to her by staying at and helping her move out of her flat.
Good, move out of her flat. What do we call a school's principal in the UK?
We call a school's principal in the UK a head teacher.
Have you ever sworn to your mother that you didn't do something when you actually did?
Yes, I have a storm on
I
my
have sworn.
I swore to my mother that I didn't do something when I actually did.
Do some shops give discounts to customers who show their loyalty?
Yes, some shops give discounts to customers who show their loyalty.
Are you sometimes reluctant to sit down and study for your English lessons, but you do it anyway?
Yes, I am sometimes reluctant to sit down and study for my English lessons, but I do it anyway.
Good. Who would you trust to tell you the complete truth to you?
I would trust to my parents or to my best friends to tell me the complete truth.
Do we sometimes need somebody who we trust to tell us to pull ourselves together?
Yes, we sometimes need somebody who we trust to tell us to pull ourselves together.
Good. How long was Rachel's dissertation about the British Prime Minister Tony Blair?
Rachel's dissertation about the British Prime Minister Tony Blair was 15,000 words long.
Good. Should we trust everyone when we meet them for the first time?
No, we shouldn't trust everyone when we meet them for the first time.
Do all democracies have written constitutions?
No, not all democracies have a written constitution. Some countries, such as the UK, don't.
What issues do the government of your country need to deal with?
Quickly?
Sorry?
Here is to deal with quickly.
To deal with quickly.
Issues that the government of my country needs to deal with quickly are, I don't know.
The coronavirus?
Yes, sarampo.
Sarampo, dengue.
Yes.
What issues might make a student drop out of a school?
The issues that might make a student drop out of school are I don't know.
Maybe not liking school.
Yes, or not studying.
Not studying.
Or don't have money to pay schools.
Good. What did Rachel take to the beach?
Rachel took sunscreen and sunshade to the beach.
If you do not want to burn your skin, it's hot in hot weather, what should you do?
If you do not want to burn out your skin in hot weather, you should use sunscreen and sit under a sunshade. Sunshade.
Good. Where are the rights of each person in a democracy usually written?
The rights of each person in a democracy are usually written in the Constitution.
How many words does the American Constitution have?
The American Constitution has 4,000 for 3 words.
No.
It's 4,500.
Very good. And 40?
43 words.
Good, so 4,543 words. Only a few words, yeah? Okay, good guys. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. Okay, so I want you guys to study all the words that you have been looking at here in the lesson. Okay, and tomorrow we're going to have a dictation. Okay, and we're going to be revising these few words that you've been looking at in the last 2 lessons. Okay, so make sure you've been studying. One of the things I would like to remind you is that you still have homework to give me. That's a student that I gave you last lesson. So make sure that you take a picture or scan that or bring it to the school. I am here. You can come here and give it to me. Remember that you need to do that for tomorrow. Okay, so make sure you've got that done for me. Okay, and also remember that I can see on YouTube how many people have seen these videos. There are 2 classes that are watching the same video. I hope that you guys are watching it and doing the exercises and reading together with me, because you know your exam is coming very soon. If you don't do that, you will not pass and won't be able to continue into book 6, okay? So take it seriously. It might be distance learning, but it's definitely not holidays, okay? So I'll see you soon.